Welcome to the Lust for Life podcast, where Jake and I journal about each of our weeks in the form of a podcast. And this week was so much fun, just like the rest. I'm getting really excited because we're moving to Wilmington, which is the beach area. We're 2 hours from the beach right now, and Wilmington is right on the beach. We're moving there in February, and we're getting really excited for that. It'll be a fun change of scenery and just fun to be able to hang out on the beach and read a book on the beach if we want, walk on the beach. It will be different. We're going to miss the roads here because there's some decent road biking roads here, better than probably out there. And there's hills out here, which there's probably not really any hills out there. It's pretty flat. So training's going to look a little different. We're going to really need to hit the resistance on the Wahoo trainer. That's the electronic trainer we use for our bike. Lucy's jumped up. She wants to say hello. She licked the microphone. But yeah, we're really excited to move to Wilmington. And as of training, I'm still nursing that IT band. November 2nd was our race. So I am I'm like a month and a half from the race and still just nursing this IT band. So make sure you guys stretch at home because I did not stretch enough and did not do enough strength. And that's why my IT band is not very happy. I went to the pool for the first time since our race today and I was completely gassed. I was so tired, and it wasn't that hard of a workout, but I was so tired. So it's crazy how quickly your body adapts to training and how quickly it adapts to not training. So I am kind of on the uphill grind again. Jake, how was your week?
Training wise, it was fine. Since Tennessee's IT band's out, that means I get to ride her bike around, and her bike is so much faster.
The Trek Speed concept.
Yeah, it is so fast. But part of it, it's just so fast. So I had a great time with it. Everything else, yeah, it was fine. It was a good training week. Foot started hurting a little bit just because I've been ramping up my miles a lot running and been going faster pace. So I think my foot, the one that I broke earlier this year, was just being a little funny. So I'm going to take the next little week off. But yeah, it was great training week wise. School wise, this is my last week. Today I had my final classroom style lecture ever, with my whole class. I'll have lectures the rest of my life, but none like this, which was really kind of an interesting moment. And we have 3 big exams this week, which will be good. But then last week, something really cool. We had the anatomy lab, the cadaver donors, a memorial service for their families, which was really cool. So we had, between our class and the class above us, 116 people donated their body to our anatomy lab. And so that includes mostly used by the medical students, but also the PT students, the PA students, the nursing students, and the dental students too, all use these donors. They get everything. Every single part of them is used. We use them as much as we possibly can. And so it was really cool, the whole anatomy experience, being able to dissect these cadavers and everything. That was just an experience of itself, just reflecting back to just that first time, this body on the table. And I actually got to make the first incision, which was really cool on our first dissection. But yeah, the whole anatomy experience was really cool. But anyways, this memorial service, so all their family came to it, family and friends, for everyone who donated their bodies, and it was really cool. I at first thought it was just gonna be it's gonna be it's whatever, but they actually did a really good job. A lot of students played a musical instrument. We had a few violins, guitars, a few singers, a cappella group, and then we had a few little speakers that were everyone was 2 minutes or less. But it was really good. But the best part of it was there was this slideshow where they had pictures of not everyone, but most of the people who donated. I think just the people whose families submitted pictures of them. And then their families wrote 1 or 2 sentences just about the person. And so it was really cool to see these pictures of all these people whose bodies we were able to learn from in the cadaver lab. And just the whole thing about these people will be lifelong teachers, and their impact goes on even after they die, and they continue to teach and influence people. And it was really cool. Just a lot of the quotes were really just thought provoking. But there was one part, and everyone, you could just hear like some sniffles started going around during the whole PowerPoint. Um, but then one part, it was this lady who was up there, and her one sentence they wrote was, "Please, like, use my body to help find a cure for Parkinson's." And everyone just like, there was like 80% of the people that were crying. It was like
It's really thoughtful.
yeah, it was just a really like powerful um event. So it was really cool.
If you think about it, like that's like someone's entire world, right? Like they're donating their. I don't like. It's hard for me to fathom me
Yeah.
donating my own body, like that. Like that's just an interesting thought to have after I pass. People, cutting me open and looking at different parts of my body, and like, that's really cool that you were able to honor that, because for me that I have a hard time wrapping my head around that thought.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm definitely like an organ donor and everything. Like if something happens, yes, take me, help other people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's different
Than
from
just
having
donating your whole.
medical students do this. But yeah, when we were dissecting the like brain, even, it was so interesting looking down and be like, this is like the whole person right here.
Yeah, the personality.
There is all of their 80 years of thoughts and emotions and stories and experiences are just right here. It was so interesting.
Yeah. No, that's very interesting. I did anatomy in undergrad, but it was a completely different experience. I think we got cadavers from the medical school once they were done with them, and they gave them to undergrad. But it was, yeah, very different experience. Still, like, very thoughtful, meaning these were people's lives. Like, I remember one of the cadavers had, like, their nails painted, and I was like, aw, like, they're just like me. Like, they like to have their nails painted, and it's just an interesting thing to wrap your head around, like a lifeless body. Like it's something is so interesting about that to me, and especially like I remember working in like the care centers, and like a resident would pass away, and like I'd be friends with these residents, and then they pass away, and then there's not a spirit in that body anymore. And it's really hard for me to wrap my mind around that sometimes. It's just a weird feeling. So this week, Jake and I were having the discussion multiple times about this. And yeah, you guessed it, about the Ironman. Jake, would you like to share your thoughts again about it?
Yeah, I mean, if you've been following along, it seems like every week since Ironman Florida, I have been it just eats at me at how poorly I performed. Like, not up to my expectations, not as good as I should have done. And it just eats at me. So I'm thinking every day just what I'm going to do differently for Ironman Texas in April. Hopefully, if everything goes well with school. I even sent another email today, like, asking what is our schedule like for April, because they still don't have it. And so I'm trying to get that figured out. And so one thought I had this week was during my first transition. So my swim was awesome. I mean, from my standpoint, I finished like the bottom third of my age group, but for me, like, I crushed it. Because I've always been such a bad swimmer, but my swim time was way better. Like, I'm so stoked about it. So my swim was great. So I get out of the water, but to start the swim, because I knew I was going to be so slow, so I started near the back of the pack. Like, literally, there were no more than 20 people who started the Ironman after me. I think we counted like over 400 people during the swim. I think once we looked, I didn't count, but we did the math once we looked back and saw what place I finished and what time I started and everything. And so I'm still near the back, because like 2,000 people?
Yeah, like
1,500,
like,
2,000?
No, I think it was like 1,900. I don't remember.
So anyways, I'm at like the back quarter, the last 25% of people to get into the first transition. So I get out of the water. Well, I see my watch and I'm like, man, I banked a lot of time. I'm going to be like looking good the rest of the race. I finished this swim so much faster than I thought. And then I get out of the water and I'm like, okay, I look around and everyone around me is walking. And I think, yeah, that's okay. I banked so much time. I'll just walk through transition. I'll maintain my heart rate. I'll keep it low because then I won't get stressed for the bike. And I have all this extra time to bank. So yeah, it's okay. I'll just walk. But then I was thinking today, which one, I'm so mad at that. Like Tennessee said last week that I just wanted the feeling now of running through transition. I want to know what that's like because I didn't do it. But I was thinking like, man, I'm not blaming. It's nobody's fault but my own. But I bet, sadly, if I was, when I got out of the water, if everyone around me was running, guarantee I would have started running.
Running through transition.
Yeah, running through the transition. It was a half-mile long transition, so it took me almost 13 minutes to do the whole walk through, get into my bike stuff, and leave, which is like stupid slow. Everyone else is doing it in like 4 minutes. What yours was, or like
Mine was like 7.
yeah, that's true because it was a
And
half
I
mile.
was like,
but you were
I was
hustling.
hauling.
But that's it just I don't know why because everyone around me. I think my brain initially was just like because before I got out of the water, I was thinking I banked all this extra time. I'm looking good. And then by seeing everyone else walking, that just kind of reaffirmed to me, like, yeah, it's okay, you can walk. But if everyone was running, I would have ran. And so then Tennessee then started talking about, well, she can say.
Well, I just started thinking like, well, I don't blame you for thinking that because my heart rate did spike in transition. That was the highest my heart rate was the whole races was transition, which is not good. So I can improve in that as well. But what I was thinking was like how often do we look at everyone around us and compare ourselves to them thinking, all right, we're doing okay. Like, and when really we should be asking ourselves, are we doing everything that we can be doing? And like, I talked about this before, but Elon Musk talked about in an interview, you really want to get to know somebody, look at the people they hang out with. And are you walking with the people around you that you hang out with? Or are you all running, pushing each other? Like, are you being complacent with the people? Are the people around you making you be complacent or assisting you in feeling comfortable with where you're at when you have so much more potential and so much more energy that you can, unleash on yourself? And I just feel like Lucy does the same thing. She matches the energy in the room. If everyone's running, heck, that girl will run. If everyone's sitting, Lucy will sit with you. And so are you matching the energy in the room? Are you meant for more? Are you making sure that you're hanging out with the right types of people that push you? And are you protecting your energy? Are you sparing feelings of others just to spare feelings? Something I'm learning is not to be rude, but it's okay to say no. And it's okay to distance yourselves from people that you've outgrown from that phase of life. And that's not a bad thing. People fill different hats in your life for different reasons. People are in your life for different reasons. And they're either in your life for a lifelong or a season. But it's just interesting to think about who are you hanging out with and are they pushing you to be better?
You said, what did you say? Like people who assist you in complacency, or what verb did you use? People who
like, are they making you feel happy being complacent?
Yeah,
I don't know what I said exactly,
like that, but it was really good. And I don't know. No, I thought that was really good. And it also.
And sometimes you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Like in your Ironman,
was like
you didn't.
out of
It
the
was
water.
so unconscious. You look at people around you, and all right, I'm doing pretty good. I'm good. You kind of
Yeah.
you make yourself feel good.
But then if I was with people who were like pushing themselves to the limit, I would also be pushing myself to the limit. Which, again, I hate to say that I was not pushing myself to the limit at that point because everyone else around me, in my mind, I was banking time, keeping a low heart rate.
Which
I'd
is
be
a
fine.
decent strategy.
Yeah, but
Maybe not walking. Maybe a
yeah.
slow jog would have been
Yeah.
good.
I then eventually, I think I did pick up a little. I don't know. Who knows? But it reminded me of what you were saying of Cameron Haynes told his kids growing up. If you want to be just like everybody else, then do just what everyone else is doing. And that's literally it. Like, if you just want to be average, that's all you'll be is just average, just like everyone else, because you're just doing what everyone else is doing. And I've thought about this a few times. I have to take the bus to school, public transportation, and the bus schedules are like sometimes they'll show up 4 minutes early, sometimes they'll show up 4 minutes late. You just never know what to expect. If anyone's done it, you just know how unpredictable it is.
I took them in the summer while Jake had the car, and yes, that is very true.
And so I noticed, and I thought, like, why do I do this? If I'm like by myself, no one's around, I have no problem full sprinting to that bus as fast as I can. But if there's people walking, I still do it. I still run to the bus, but it's harder to like start. Like I find myself second guessing, like, should I run or should I just keep walking?
Is it because like you're worried you're gonna like disrupt them, or you're worried what they think, or it's just like, oh, everyone else isn't in a rush, I'm not gonna be in a rush?
Yeah, I don't know why, but
interesting.
I notice it's harder to, because I have no problem running to the bus if it's just me, but then if there's like a group of people walking,
if you're walking with a group of people, like friends.
No, well that too, which that's different because I like, but like just strangers just walking to the bus and I just have to like run past them, and then I just wonder why it was harder for me to start. I still do it anyways, and then I was just thinking when I just like blow past them, kind of that like why would I let this person hold me back? Like if I catch this bus, that saves 20 minutes out of my day.
That's a lot of time.
And then even like walking into class, you have to show up to class. We start every class with a quiz, and they put a code to access the quiz on the screen. And if you show up late, they take the quiz code down, so you can't access the quiz. You have to use an absence and make up the quiz later in the week. And so there have been a few times where I get off the bus and I run into the building to get the quiz code on time, and I run past my classmates walking. And I'm like, wait, why are we not hustling right now? But I will run anyways. So I don't know why I run to the bus and run to class. I have no shame doing that. But why did I walk through the first transition?
That's funny. I mean, I agree, but that was funny.
No, it was, bad strategies all around. I'm excited for Texas to sprint through that transition.
No, don't sprint.
I will be
jog.
The fastest T1 and 2 times out there. But no, those were just my thoughts. Like, why is it easier or why is it harder to excel when you're with a bunch of people who are just holding you back? And I think you've answered it.
Yeah, you're comfortable being in the same place as them. But yeah, that was kind of our reflections on the week. We publish these every Tuesday. We're making a short episode this week because we both have things we need to get done. But we love making these, and we'll see you next Tuesday.